Hi, my name is Veronica, and this is a special setup that I have for Word that I use to teach and also to customize Word. I'm an IT trainer and have been in the field for about 30 years. Before that, I was a word processor. So when I need to set up a set of templates for a new client, I always start with a fresh copy of Word. As you know, the default normal usually has formatting that we don't like. A lot of blue headings and the Calibri font, just a wide variety of things. So I want to show you this process that I go through that may help you with your project. So I use this setup here. This is my home computer, and I use it to develop templates for law firms. So what I have here is a default normal, and this is what I use for demos. So to change the default normal from my normal setup, I do that so that you can see what the word normal would normally look like with all these different headings. I can go here too and see the same thing. So after I start with a fresh copy of Word's normal, then what I usually do is I run a macro that will help me to format the documents that I will create from this template. So let me just show you one macro that I have where we look at all the current formatting in a Word document. So this says style samples for template development. So when I run this code, the Word is going to create a paragraph in every style that's set up in Word so that you can see what you're starting with. So it takes a little while because there are about 255 styles in Word and counting. I'm going to go ahead and include the table style, so I'm going to say yes here. And when it's done, I will have a sample of all the styles in the Word default template and with a sample paragraph. So I'm going to go over here to my setup and choose show styles so that you can see that each of these styles in the document, it uses the style name for the text. So you can see how everything is set up and the format. Well, we usually don't like this, but this is what you start out with. I have another tip that I can show you that is a lot more useful. So now this is my default normal. What I have found in over 3 decades of word processing is most documents can be done by applying a short sublist of all the styles. So rather than see the entire long list that you would normally see in Word, so this is a macro that shows you all the formats. Normally, I only have to apply anywhere from 5 to 10 styles when I'm working on a document. So all of my single space styles are body text or body text first indent. Any of the double space styles are going to be body text 2 and body text first indent 2. So I leave my heading styles without any numbering because depending on the kind of document I'm going to create, I may or may not need numbering. So over here, I have developed a numbering library so that I can just set up numberings as needed. So here I can apply the Harvard style to these headings and then just continue on from there. But getting back to the setup, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with another copy of the default normal. As you can see, there it is. And now I'm going to run a custom macro that will format all of these styles based on the format that we usually use in legal. So usually we use Times New Roman. The font is going to be either black or automatic, and then it also goes through and applies some basic formatting to the styles that we use most of the time. So let me just go ahead and run this macro on this copy of normal. So I have this prompt here to make sure I don't run it on a existing document, so I'm just going to click on OK. And then when this is done, I'm left with this list of styles. And then after I switch over to just display the styles that I need most of the time, this is what I can now use as my base template for any other work that I'm going to do. So now I've got just these styles displayed. And so if I want to create a pleading template or a letterhead or what have you, a proof of service, I can start always with this set of styles and then add and remove styles as the need arises. So I've developed some templates for maybe 5 or 6 law firms. Then I use this particular setup for Word to make it easier to apply them. So as you know, there are a lot of options in Word that can wreak havoc in documents, certain things that you want to turn on and off all the time. So within that area of Word, I usually go in here and I go to autocorrect options and I go to auto format as you type, and I turn off just about everything that Word turns on. But in particular, I get rid of all of this so that I have complete control. What I've been finding lately is that Microsoft will turn on certain things, whether we want them on or not. So these are always leave blank. This one I'll turn on, and depending on what state you live in, you may or may not want your ordinals. In our California office, the office manager says that when the attorneys do their documents at home, they come in with the ordinals first, second, third, 1ST, 2ND, and she has to remove all of that because the court doesn't like that. So I gave her a macro that will convert ordinals, superscripted ordinals to just regular type. So I have a number of utilities in this shortcut template just to make it easy to do a lot of different things. But the very first thing that I use it for is to make sure that I have a clean copy of normal, and then that's what I use as the basis for all of my other templates. Let me know if you're interested. I can give you some more ideas and tips and tricks on what you can use. And I'd like to see that you succeed in this project that you're working on. Thanks. Here's one more tip. Right now, I have the Word default template open. And the way that we were trained to change the default fonts is to go to the font menu and change the font here and then choose Set as Default. So I want to do that with a font that is kind of startling, but which makes it easier to see. So I'm going to choose Algerian. So I'm going to choose Set as Default, this document only, and click OK. And you'll notice that that does not affect all styles. Let's display all styles. And now when we look at this list, the majority of the styles have been changed, but the significant styles, the heading styles, have not been changed. So the body text styles, but not block text, we need that quite often. So to me, that's a little bit of a problem. This is one of the documents that I converted using the macro to set all of the font attributes and the paragraph attributes. So now when I use Algerian on this document, and I'm just going to make it 12 point and set as default, this document only, and click OK, all the styles change as expected. So not only do my body text styles, but also my heading styles. If I display all the styles, when I scroll this list, the vast majority of the styles change. The ones that don't change are not the ones that I programmed to change. So the character styles like the hyperlink and HTML that we don't care about anyway, I don't bother changing those styles. But the significant styles, the header, the heading, the footer, and the body text styles, all of those styles change. This will hopefully discourage people from trying to use select all to change the font, because select all and you change the font, that's direct formatting, and you want all the formatting to happen with the styles. Thanks.